Welcome to
the Plant-Based Podcast.
In case you didn't know already, plants are amazing. You can
Eat them,
wear them,
drink them,
nourish your skin with them,
grow them,
love them,
and be inspired by them. So why not join us on the Plant-Based Podcast as we speak to the movers, shakers, and growers in this amazing plant world. So hi guys, we have a series of very exciting episodes coming up. So this episode and the next one will be interviews, but Ellen and I are interviewing each other. So yes, we've posed each other a range of different questions and kind of really poking into each other's lives. And we've also got a quick fire round. We've got a 1-minute session where we have to then talk about a project for a minute and put our point across about that project. But yeah, it's really fun. So great to find out things about each other as well. I mean, I thought I knew Ellen really well, but I did not know one thing that she wanted to be when she was an adult. So have a listen. The first episode is me. So Ellen is interviewing me, finding out all about my heritage, kind of how I grew up, kind of what I do like, what I don't like, all of that shizzle. And I hope that she's kind to me in the interview that is coming up. And I hope she learns some things about me as well. So looking forward to it. So enjoy. And remember, in the next episode, which is coming out next week, I will be interviewing Ellen. And we'll find out what she wanted to be when she grew up. Not sure she's grown up yet, though.
Hi, everyone. So in this episode of the podcast, we decided that we were going to interview each other. So for this episode, I'm interviewing Michael. Usually we're interviewing lots of different people, but we decided to delve a little bit deeper and find out information about one another that we didn't already know. So I wonder if we can find anything out about Michael that, he's hidden from his social media. I feel a lot like we already know a lot about Michael. I mean, we've seen a lot, haven't we? So I'm really looking forward to interviewing him, just to find out some information that perhaps will surprise you. I mean, we know that we see Michael all over socials, frequently in his pants. I feel like for one of my very best friends, I've seen his hairy chest more than I need to have seen. But I really want to delve into a bit of history, see if we can find out any gossip, or I wonder if he will stay professional and not give the game away. But before we get into that interview, I thought I would tell you a little bit about Michael that I've found out from hanging out with him. So he is such a hard worker, and he comes out with these amazing creative ideas. Like, you could just be walking down the street and he'll be like, "Oh, Melon, I know, I've got something for you. I know something. I got a good idea." And then he'll just spill like this new idea. And then I'll come in and be like, "That's an amazing idea. I just think we need to kind of round it off a bit here." And together it really works. And hopefully we come back with something that's really good fun for you all and for the podcast as well. So he's really creative, he thinks on his feet. We have this really weird thing, when he's doing something, I'm doing the other thing that complements it without actually discussing it. So what needs to be done gets done by one or the other of us without us talking about it. It's intuitive. It's really funny. It's kind of weird. So we have this sort of weird twin relationship that's not twin whatsoever. So other things are, he goes to bed much earlier than me. So he will be first in bed. I shared an apartment with Michael for a while in Norwich, and we've stayed in each other's houses and stuff, and he will go to bed long before me, and I'll still be up like watching TV, tidying up, I don't know, reading in the bathroom, whatever, and by the time I've come out of the bathroom or finished a TV show, whatever, I've walked through and I can literally hear him snoring. Like, he snores really loud. Not every night, but when he snores, he really snores. But I lay in much longer than him, and he gets up quite early, and when he gets up, he's up. There's no messing around. He's up, he's dressed, he's ready to go. And he'll be sitting waiting for me. Like, there's been times where he's literally been sitting going, are we going for coffee now? Are we going for coffee? I haven't even put any makeup on yet. So, yeah, he is a bundle of energy. And he is really, really good fun. And very honest, like he always says what he thinks, which is really, really cool as well. So here's my interview with Michael. I hope you enjoy it. I hope that he gives us some gossip that we didn't already know. I mean, who knows? Here you go. I hope you enjoy it. Hi, Michael.
Hello.
Is this a bit like, do you think this is like Piers Morgan's interviews?
Well, I'm not going to cry like Danny Minogue did. Don't worry.
Yeah. Oh. Well, I'm pleased. I don't want you to cry.
You might cry in your interview, though. Who knows? Girls.
I'm really looking forward to this.
Yeah? Cool.
Yeah. I can't wait to actually do a proper interview with you. Like, we always interview other people,
yeah,
don't we?
exactly.
Or we get interviewed by other people, but we've never interviewed each other.
Yeah, and we kind of assume we know loads about each other, but then sometimes, yeah, you can find out more. So let's see how it goes.
Okay, so in true Piers Morgan style, then here we go.
Are you wearing
Michael.
a rubbish suit?
No, I'm not. I'm in joggers and a sweatshirt like everyone in lockdown. But when I looked at you a moment ago on the screen, I did think that you had a blanket wrapped around you and then realised it was your T-shirt.
I know. It's a scene.
It's a scene. Okay, it's very nice. Okay, Michael, Mr. Plant Geek, plant addict, plant lover. Tell me about your first ever plant.
Oh, my first ever plant. I stood on it and it died. But I tell you the story. It was, like a Tradus cantia, the trailing type of houseplant. I've actually just bought one recently, so it's really nice to have one of my childhood plants again. But we rooted these cuttings at school in water, which was very exciting, blah, blah. And then at some point we potted them up into pots of compost. And then at some point we took them home. They were on the windowsill in the school for a few weeks, and then we took them home. And I, for some reason, I wanted to plant it into the garden. Obviously, it's a house plant. I don't know why I was doing that. And so I went to plant it, and as I was digging the hole, I then stepped back onto the plant, and it broke. And it was such a... Oh, it's just so sad when you're young and there's memories like that. It's just, I was so sad and I cried. So that was my first plant. Yeah, definitely.
Does it make you feel like crying now?
Yeah, a little bit, because I hate sad childhood memories.
There you go. First question. First question, and you nearly cried.
How did you manage to do that? Oh.
You could have probably propagated it. They're the easiest to propagate when they break, aren't they?
Yeah, but I didn't, when you're that age, you're not thinking straight, I was in a panic and all I wanted to do was, cry.
Oh,
cool.
That's really sweet. So Tradus cantia was your first ever plant. And that's where you got the bug from, huh?
Yeah.
So when you were young and you were stepping on plants, who was your biggest influence? Who influenced you the most as a child?
My grandma, yeah. I mean, she's called Nana, but when you say Nana, a lot of people don't know what that means. So I always say grandma, even though in my head she's not grandma because she was my Nana. Right. Sorry, that was a really unrequired preface. What was the question? Who inspired me? All right. Yeah, so it was. I mean, less so my granddad because, granddad's dads, they're always a bit more in the background, aren't they? It's always the female that's kind of more taking the lead when it comes to teaching you stuff and kind of just hanging out with them, I guess. I think dads are always too cool for their own good. But yeah, it was that really. Yeah, it was my grandma, and like that really started everything off. That made me want to take over my parents' garden as well and fill that with my own flowers. And yeah, and turns out I didn't stand on all of them, so that was great.
Well, thank goodness. You've got a lot of bulbs about to pop up in your garden now,
I know.
so you best not be standing on
But
them.
I've been planting other stuff on top of them. I'm just
Have you gone wild in the
I just
garden?
can't stop planting. I can't even wait for stuff to come up.
You are a plant geek after all. But
I know.
So basically, you've got all of these plants in the garden. You started off with a Tradescantia. Your nana showed you, influenced you for gardening. You've now got your new garden, which is packed full of plants. And you can't stop planting, which I completely understand. But why? Like, tell me 3 reasons why you love plants so much.
Do you know, when people ask me this, I don't know. But it's just how something makes you feel. And I don't know if that's even a tangible thing. It's just for them to just be around me and be involved with them just feels really natural, you know. And yeah, so I don't know if I could even break that down into separate points. Really,
I was going to say that's one. That's one.
I would say I'm not going to answer the question. I'm just going to say I just think plants just make it right, you know, like.
Okay.
My life and my balance, and
so you feel very natural, like it's natural that they're in your life. But why is it natural that they're in your life?
I don't know. Oh, you're making me think about it now.
Good. That's the point of this style of interview.
No, it's just like having an addiction, you know, isn't it? A bit. So you just want to have more plants. You want to learn more about plants. It's just like having a subject that you're just mad keen on, really.
So there's education. It's like you want to be educated.
And I think having them around you in the home kind of makes you feel good. But I don't know if there's any real measurement I can give of that. But I just know that if they weren't here, I'd be pretty bored.
I know loads of people have asked you, haven't they? Like, I always see it pop up on your questions, you know, on Instagram. What would you do if you weren't doing what you do now, if there weren't plants? And you're always like, I don't know, I'm rubbish at everything else.
I'm just everything else. Yeah, definitely. But it's like, you know, to think of a house with no plants or a garden with no plants is just bereft, you know.
So I went to my sister's for Christmas and she doesn't have one single houseplant.
What the flip?
Not one. Yeah. So there you go.
Not even a foe.
We're having words about it. Okay. So, you know, basically you didn't actually answer the question. Tell me 3 reasons why you love plants. But you can answer this question. You know, at name a point in your life. It can be plants or not plant related. Like a turning point, maybe like a realization or a moment in your life where everything changed.
I don't know, maybe being at college and kind of, I was a really shy teenager and I was obviously keeping my gardening, you know, skills and love a secret from my school friends. So it was kind of a very kind of living in the shadows type existence. And then when I went to college, I was then, you know, that same shy teenager because, you know, you don't suddenly transform in a different environment. And I just, like, couldn't get into it and just didn't feel like I fitted in and wasn't really confident enough to then, you know, build rapport with people. And I remember one afternoon walking back from college to my parents' house where I obviously lived at that time. And oh my God, it must be like 10 miles or something, but I think I just needed some time out. I'm not sure. And on the way back, I remember sitting on some bench and almost it felt like an epiphany moment where I was just kind of like, you know, how am I going to get through this? I'm not really feeling like this is for me. I didn't feel confident. And yeah. And then somehow in that class, I think in the library one day, and a couple of people kind of like reached out to me and said, join our group and work with us on this. And that was just kind of when everything just fell into place. And I then fitted in with this group of 12 people that also had the same, you know, loves as I in terms of plants and horticulture. And that was yeah, so that kind of little series of events was just the moment where it's like, no, this is great. This is where I fit. This is where I feel confident, and this is where I feel I can begin to grow, So, yeah.
That's nice. That's nice. College. I think a lot of people find themselves when they get to college. I think school can be difficult for some people. And, and I think kids are mean as well, aren't they? They say mean things, and you kind of put into groups of people that you might not necessarily choose to be with in life, and then I think when you go to college you sort of find your tribe a bit more,
because you are on a course that is then following your likes. So
you start making your own choices, don't you? I think in college. So that's really
great
cool.
question, Ellen. Thank you.
That's very awesome. So thinking into the future then, so we've done the past, but if you were writing yourself a note to give yourself in 10 years' time, what would it say? So write a note to yourself in the future. What would you say to yourself?
I don't know, because I guess you have to think about something you don't do well in the present time.
No, it can be positive. You can write something about, like, keep doing that, or this worked really well, or,
Yeah, I think... sorry.
Can we edit
out that yawn? Sorry, this is the problem when I'm horizontal, all right? Right, let me get back to that question. I think it would just be you played it well or something like that, because, like I always say to you, I pride myself on being reliable, doing what I say I'll do, kind of being on time, just being, reliable. And that's the thing. And I think that is what, gives you the different success as well. And I think that would be the thing that I would then applaud myself for, later down the line. So, yeah, I wouldn't say... I don't overthink anything, so I wouldn't put that. I think I'm the opposite of overthinking. I almost don't think enough sometimes. I kind of go headlong into new projects, blah, blah, blah. But actually, that's the thing that propels you. And this week, tomorrow, I'm filming something which is like something that I was just approaching and being like, oh my God, can I do that? Can I do that? But then, no, if I turned that down, I'd always be wishing that I'd said yes and tried to do it. So, yeah, say yes even when it scares you, all of that would be on the note in French.
That's a really good bit of advice. Say yes even though it scares you, because that's when you kind of leave your comfort zone.
That's the time.
When you really, really grow, yeah.
And that feeling, euphoric feeling afterwards when you know that you were scared and you pull it off is just, it's addictive. It's really addictive.
Yeah. So it gets the adrenaline going, that's for sure.
Defo.
Cool. This is very, very cool, MP.
Yeah.
So tell me a little bit of gossip now. So you've obviously been working with plants forever and ever and ever, and, you've been all around the world and you've been kind of plant hunting and introducing new plants. So tell me a little bit of gossip. I want something juicy, something that's happened in your career that's some juicy gossip.
Oh, I don't know.
There has to be something.
I think there's lots of stories, especially in the kind of glory days of seed companies. There's lots of stories of how, like rival breeders would steal plants from houses, and gardens, like in the dead of night, little things like that, which are not necessarily specific confessions. What would it be? What about when I do demos, which I learnt this technique in Japan, actually, that you don't have to use as much compost as you think, because you can actually fill half of the pot with polystyrene blocks.
Yeah.
And I did that for some demos and then gave my friend the plants afterwards, and then after a week they collapsed as the polystyrene broke down. So that's a kind of bit of almost like a gossipy confession of how, not everything is always how it looks when you produce video or film. And certainly I used to be involved in a lot of the photography of plants, when I was at Thompson & Morgan. And Geranium Skyrocket, for example, was like in the picture, that plant is completely built from stems of plants. It's not necessarily real. So that's like real life Photoshop, because, a plant never looks good from every angle. It's very, unless you're taking an arty shot, it's very difficult to take a good picture of a full plant. And so it's kind of understandable that you would kind of cut and paste in real life here and there.
So basically you're saying the gossip is that it isn't all as it seems.
Yeah, just like some pictures are not real, some demos, there might be like shortcuts, but that is sometimes, how photography works and kind of the magic of TV, because, you can't always have it the way that you would do it as someone at home. So, yeah. Okay. I really don't know any other gossip. If I had some, I wouldn't mind telling you, but yeah. I don't know.
I know some gossip, but I don't think we'll talk about that on the podcast.
Oh my gosh.
I know you have many talents, and we often see them on social media, but do you have any hidden talents that you've never shown anyone else?
I always think people don't realise I can cook. Well,
okay.
I wouldn't say I'm very... I don't know. I don't know if I'm really skilled in cooking, or more the fact that I'm really happy to just give anything a go and just look up the recipe and then just do it. And that is certainly what a lot of my friends don't realise, because I get this real bugbear when people don't appreciate stuff. So, like, I think in the past, maybe I've cooked some for my friends, or they've, like, said something, or they've, like, been cheeky about something. I'm just like... then after that, I just can't be bothered to then cook for them again. Is that really like... I can't remember what it was one time. They were like, oh, we only having pita bread with that or something. And then I'm like, oh, I can't be bothered with this. It's much easier. It's much easier when you're just cooking for yourself. I don't know. And people shouldn't critique so much, especially when you provided them a spread or something.
We know that you can cook because you do post that on social media. So I think your hidden talent isn't that you cook. Your hidden talent is your ability to switch off when people don't appreciate it.
Yeah. Do I have any other hidden talent then?
Can you do a handstand or something? Is there anything weird?
No, I mean, I got a broken ear, so I can flap my ear down in a weird way that's creepy for people. But
yeah,
apart from that, I can't think of anything at the moment.
How did you break your ear?
I was running around the room with a sandwich, jam. You're so slow. Or was that the Skype?
No, that was me being slow.
I'm talking as if I'm dictating, all right? Full stop. Next question, comma, Emma.
Ellen. That's so funny.
I called you Emma. Sorry.
Did you just call me Emma?
I don't know what's happened. Anyway, get me back, Piers.
Thank you, Michael. I have seen recently on social media lots of people have posted their travel photographs, because obviously travel's been off the cards mostly over the past year or so. And you have obviously travelled all over the place, so you must be missing travelling a little bit. Where's your favourite country to travel?
Oh gosh, I don't know, because everywhere's so different, The one that mostly kind of pulls me back and I yearn for and I think about quite often in my head is probably Japan, I would say. Yeah, because of just the kind of alienness of a lot of it, like the food, the kind of sights, the behaviours of people, just that's the one that probably pulls me the most and I think of. So, yeah.
Are you missing travelling?
Yeah, but I don't like to think about it too much, because then you focus on it and then you do miss it. But yeah, of course, naturally, that's the thing. Something that I never get round to do, but I want to do, is just to flick through my phone looking at old pictures. Do you do that ever or not?
Yeah.
I just don't. I don't know if sometimes I don't want to do it because that just kind of makes the situation worse, because it then reminds you of the situation. But yeah, I don't know. Maybe I should.
I think
you should.
Cathartic? I think you have to. It is cathartic, but you have to be in the right mood for it. If you're not having a good day, I wouldn't look through those photographs, because that would make me feel sad. But if I'm having a good day and I'm like, do you remember when we went here or went there, then I would definitely look. So I think it depends what mood you're in. But I would just like to say, if there's any noise currently going on, it's Michael untangling the wires to his microphone.
The noises are so sensitive around here.
They are very sensitive. Right. Tell me what's in your wallet, Michael.
What? Is this a question or just chat?
Yeah. What do you keep in your wallet?
Well, do you know what? I hardly ever carry it these days, because you pay pay for stuff with your phone, don't you? So, and the times when you do need the card, it's really annoying because it's like, what? So it's like one of these cool ones that lifts up the cards called Secrid. So I've just got like, I don't know, 4 cards in there, some other cards, my license, some money that I haven't spent for ages. It's kind of like a time gone past having a wallet. I don't know. But I hardly ever look at it. I hardly ever need it. I hardly ever know where it is as well. It's just different. It's just a bit different now because your wallet is more your phone, isn't it? So, yeah, losing your wallet is not quite the thing it used to be.
That's why it's
not
called
the
Apple
same drama attached to it.
Yeah. Okay. So apart from cooking and people critiquing your food and not appreciating what you've cooked, what kind of things irritate you? What irritates you the most?
About what? Oh,
Anything.
just generally.
Yeah.
I just think when people are unreliable or don't keep to their word or kind of don't do what they say they're going to do, I think because I've got that real consciousness myself, I think that's where it makes me really, impatient with others, and I feel like everyone should act the same because it's courteous, it gets you ahead, it kind of, so I'd say that really, just people that don't follow through or don't get back to you or aren't on time, but then that gives more space for the rest of us that are punctual, doesn't it? So
yes, it elevates you, darling.
But it goes so far. People don't realise, and a lot of people think, oh, you can be late a couple of times and you'll get away with it. But no, that's not good enough. You've got to be, on time every time. Yeah, in my opinion.
Oh my gosh, I'd better remember that. I know you don't like it when anyone's late, for sure.
Oh, it's just weird.
Okay, so apart from plants, what can't you live without? So nothing to do with plants or gardening, other stuff in your life, what can't you live without?
I think it would be prudent to say a person like my partner. That would be nice to say.
But you don't have to say it.
I guess to be honest, just any people really, because like anything material is like you can replace it and you don't really need it. Yeah, we have a lot of things that we have in life that we want, and that's not a bad thing to want those things, but to need something is a bit different, and there's very little that we actually need. So apart from people, because they're the ones that are going to make us feel good and add that extra dimension. So that would be my final answer.
People. You can't live without people.
Yeah.
That's cute. Okay, so being the social media star that you are, and you
I guess it's social media whore.
I could have, but I didn't.
Yeah.
And you even won the award for social media influencer, didn't you? Of the year, Garden Media Guild.
Yeah, but
Awards.
you know what of it, Ellen? I'm not here to boast.
Well, I wasn't going to. I was going to ask you a question, but
Go on, Go on, girl.
Lots of people will have an idea about you, and they read things about you, and they will assume things about you. So is there a myth about you that you would like to debunk?
I don't know. It's weird because I remember there's some forums online where people talk about QVC and that sort of world, and you look on there from time to time, and like if there's a thread that has your name on it, you're like, oh my god. and on there once they were like talking about me and saying a couple of things, and they were saying, oh, we saw him at a flower show once and he just didn't look very friendly, he looked very standoffish. And I think people get really muddled up where people don't walk around smiling all the time, and if you're someone that is in the public eye, you're not always going to be having a great day, and like that doesn't mean you're unapproachable or unfriendly, but people put you on a different pedestal and kind of think that you can't, I don't know. And yeah, so that was just a bit weird. It was like, oh, well, I don't think I'm really that unfriendly and unapproachable, but yeah. But it's hard to know.
No, you're definitely not.
I know, but if someone sees you for a split second, perhaps when you're scowling or walking along and not necessarily smiling, then people quickly make those different judgments about you, which is just kind of crazy, really. But yeah. So
Does it bother you? Or...
No, because everyone's always going to have an opinion about you, even if you are the nicest person and you kind of really work to have a great reputation, someone still might take a different viewpoint of it. So you kind of can't control it. So you just have to just roll with it, really, and just not give it too much thought, really. Okay. Yeah, so...
That's a good attitude to have.
Thanks.
That must have something to do with your star sign, which is... What's your star sign?
Scorpio.
Scorpio. Oh, okay. So if star
Everyone's
signs
always scared when someone's a Scorpio.
Yeah, I know. I don't know why, but it's like, if star signs were plants, what would yours be? So what's a plant that's like a Scorpio?
Ah, okay. Probably something like a really feral, dangerous agave. Like agave ferox or something like that, with the like spines not just on the edges but also on the surface of the leaf as well. Real
ouch.
Yeah, one of those.
I'm not being funny, but you are literally just living up to the reputation of those people writing on Facebook about you not being approachable.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Oh,
right,
yeah.
move on.
Yeah. Okay, Mr. Agave. So tell me about a project, a new project that you're working on. Do you have one? Something new that you're doing at all?
Yeah, there's always new things.
Okay, well, you've literally got 1 minute and I am timing you to sell it to me.
Oh, right. Okay.
Go.
Are you timing? All right, okay. We have an initiative that we started last season called the Plant Geek Trials Club. And if you're any business out there that wants to get your plant trialed by real-time customers and consumers at home who have got their own gardens, they've got their own patios, then you can submit your plants to the Plant Geek Trials Club. And we also have a kind of questionnaire service where we get feedback at the end of the season. We'll then build those up into beautiful pie charts so you can then get that real-time feedback on products. So it could be that 5 out of 6 people thought the petunias smelt lovely, something like that. So it's a really cool way of linking up a lot of industry and consumers at home, and sometimes that link isn't there because buyers go out to the nurseries to buy the product and they don't always know what the customer wants.
Time's
so
up.
This is then done. Oh, I wanted to do a closer, but yeah, was that all right?
That was very
hard
good.
to know what a minute is when you're in it.
I know. Oh, it's cool. It's very good. Okay, that sounds really interesting, actually.
Oh, thank you.
Well done, you. So, okay, just to finish off your interview then on this episode, I've got 7, I think, or 8, something like that, quick fire questions. You don't think about it, just whatever comes to mind first, go for it. Are you ready?
Yep.
Hot or cold?
Hot! Oh,
Spring or autumn?
Spring, because it's the promise.
Daffodil or tulip?
Tulip, there's so many more.
Book or podcast?
Podcast. I find it really hard to keep my attention in a book.
Tree or shrub?
Shrub, more versatile.
Lemon or lime?
I want to say lime, but I'm going to say lemon because it's more versatile.
Garden or allotment?
God, I thought we were done. Garden!
Hey, we're done. Yes, we're done here.
Cute.
That was very good. Thank you so much for giving us an insight into the real Mr. Plant Geek.
Oh, thank you. It's been really cool to interview each other.
Mr. Plant Geek, please stand up. Please stand up.
Please don't rap, Ellen.
Thank you so much. I hope everyone has enjoyed listening to you answer your questions.
Cool. Well, next time we'll be asking you a few little questions, won't we?
Yes, we
Excited?
sure will. I can't wait. Thank you.
Cool. Thanks for listening. You should now be at least 25% more obsessed by plants.
Please follow us on social media. You'll find us by typing in the Plant-Based Podcast.
We also have a fabulous website. Go to theplantbasedpodcast.net.
So tell your friends, leave a review. Why not write a letter to your local MP? Please spread the word about the plant-based podcast.
Oh, yes. See you next time, plant friends. The theme music for the plant-based podcast is an excerpt from the song Grow by Mikey James, and our editing is done by Gareth Patch of Semi Echo.